Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful little gingerbread ornaments. These were so easy to put together, and I do have a little pattern for you, and I'll tell you more about that as we go along. And I just wanted to remind you to please visit my friend Crafty's YouTube channel. She has a lot of wonderful crafts on there, and I'll be sure to put her name down below in the Show More drop-down bar, as well as on my blog. So with that said, I'll show you how to make these. Okay, so before we start, I just wanted to let you know that all my links and patterns will be on my blog at happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com. All you have to do is look for the picture of the little gingerbread house and click on it, and a page will open up and it'll give you all kinds of information, and you can click on the links from there. And I'll also include a link for the pattern probably in the first comment below, so be looking for that. And the pattern that I made for you, it's actually very simple. There's only 4 pieces, and you're going to need to cut the house out of cardboard. This is just packaging cardboard, just like this. Okay, and then you're going to need to cut the little heart out of cardboard. And then for the roof and the door, you'll need to cut that out of the stiff white felt. Okay? And what I did was I just kind of rough cut around my pattern, and I took a piece of this double-sided sticky tape and just put it on the back of the pattern right onto the cardboard, and same with the heart. And then I cut it out with the detail scissors. Okay? So you're going to need a pair of those. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. Okay, I pushed aside all the pieces, and we're going to work with our house, which is our base. And before we start, you're going to take an 18-karat gold leafing pen or a paint pen that is closest to this color. A Sharpie marker would also work in bronze, and we're going to just line the edge. Now this is so thin you can hardly see it, but I still like everything to look finished, and so that's why I do things like this. So I'm just going to outline the edge, and I know that most people wouldn't even notice because it is so thin, but I would. Okay, so now this is because I used a paint pen. I'm going to have to let this dry before I can pick it up and start working with it. So let me have this dry and I'll be back. Okay, so you're going to need a rectangle of felt, and I bought this at Michael's. I really liked the color because I thought it looked real gingerbreadish, if that's a word. So what I'm going to do is pick this up and take my mini detail hot glue gun and just go around the edges, and I'm getting close to the edge, but I'm not getting so close that it'll squish out into a yucky mess. Okay, so now I'm just placing this down on the felt, pressing down all the way around like that. Alright, and so now I'm just going to kind of rough cut around this like so. Alright, and this is very easy. I just put my blade right butt up against the cardboard and just cut. Okay, make sure everything's trimmed. Yeah, looks pretty good. So that's the back of the house. I'm not real worried about the roof here because that will be covered by the time we're finished. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the back. Just like that. And then lay it down. Press it down. And then I'm going to rough cut this. Like so. Okay. Now, see, this is the inside, so it looks fine with the 18 karat gold pen, and there's not a gobbledygook mess on the edges here. Now, what you're going to do is go around and make sure you have everything closed. Now, just add the teeniest amount at a time, and this is where I love this hot glue gun because, or when I love this hot glue gun, because it allows you to go in and just squirt the tiniest amount that you need, and there's no mess. And I do have a link for this on my website as to where I purchased this hot glue gun. If you go to my website, just click on this project here, and the link will be there. Okay, so now let's do this side. This one is actually pretty good. There's a little bit here. Oop, I accidentally did that myself. Okay. It's just easier to do it this way than get too close to the edge the first time and then have a big mess. So now everything still looks nice and neat, and it's sealed. Okay? Okay, so now that we have this piece finished, we're going to work on the little heart, and then we'll work on the door and the roof. Now, the heart is very easy. You just take a red Sharpie marker, and there's a reason why I'm coloring this here in red, and you'll see in a moment. In my original pattern, I had a square for the window, but I just thought the heart looked so much cuter, so I decided to go with that instead. Now, you only need to color one side. You don't need to color the back side because that will be glued on. Just make sure you get this, every little space here. Okay. put this in front of my fan real quick just to give it a quick dry. It dries pretty fast, but it's just nice to do that little extra. Okay, so now we're going to take our triple thick and open this up. You could use a brush if you want, but I'm using my finger, and I'm putting triple thick on here. Fairly generous, as you can see. And I'm making sure that I'm getting all the edges. I want it completely covered. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to set this down just like that and put the lid on. Now, I'm going to be using this red tinsel glitter, and it's called Cherry, and it's by Recollections. And I've had this so long, I kid you not, this bottle is probably at least 7 years old, if not 8 years old, or getting close to it. But it's still just as beautiful, hasn't faded with time, but it is just amazing how the light catches this, and you'll see what I'm talking about once I put this on. And so I'm just going to shake this on. Make sure it's covered. And any extra glitter I'll just pour back into the container, so I'm not worried about that. And I think I'll grab a toothpick. You can use a popsicle stick too if you want. But I'm just ever so lightly tapping the tinsel glitter down. I'm not pushing it all the way down, but just gently tapping it on the top. And then I'm going to pick this up with the help of a toothpick. And as you can see, it has some fuzzies, so I'm just going to take my finger and push those back in, like so. Now this has to dry, but look at this. There's nothing else on here. There's no German glass glitter, nothing. Doesn't it have an amazing shine? I don't think I've ever run into any other tinsel glitter that does this. I'm hoping that Recollection still makes this. I would think that they would. It's awfully pretty. So I'm going to allow this to dry thoroughly. I'm probably going to give it a full 24 hours. And so I'll set this aside, and then we'll work on our roof and our door. Okay, so I'm going to add some triple thick to this roof first. And what I'm doing is I'm forming a skin on this, so when I go back in and put another layer of triple thick with glitter, it will sit on the top and it won't soak into the felt. And if you've been following me for any length of time now, I'm sure you already know that, but I always have to take into consideration that there may be new people watching for the first time. So that's why I do this, to form the skin first, okay? And I like to speed up this drying time by setting this in front of a small tabletop fan on low. You don't want to put it on real high, because everything will blow away. Ask me how I know. So I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the door. Generally, it takes at least a 12-hour period to really set up. And the amazing thing is just when you're, just when you think that it's really hard and stiff, you give it another day and you'll see how much harder it becomes with an extra day. It's just amazing. Okay, so we have our skin on. I think I got all the parts, or excuse me, all the parts of the door. Okay, alright. So I'm going to set these two things in front of my tabletop fan and just allow them to dry. And then we'll come back and put another layer of triple thick with various glitters that I'm using. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, so now our pieces are dry and the skin is formed on the top. You're going to need these 3 different types of glitter. This is an iridescent tencel glitter, and this particular one is by Recollections, and it is called Glitz. Now please keep in mind that you don't have to use the exact brands that I'm using. If you can find something similar, then that should be fine. The second thing I'm going to be using, I picked this up at Walmart, and half of the bottle is an ultra-fine pink glitter, and the other half is jumbo pink glitter. Now, if you can't find this at your Walmart, they do have the crystal quartz jumbo glitter, which is like an iridescent type of white glitter. You can use that in its place if you can't find that. But I would try to find the ultra-fine pink glitter. And then lastly, I'm using this German glass glitter in the 70 grit. Okay. So the reason why I'm using these glitters is because I want to make the roof look as sugary as possible. So I'm going to open up the triple thick, and with my finger I'm going to put a fairly generous coat on. Like this. Make sure I'm covering right up to the edge. Like so. Right up to the edge. Alright. So I'm going to sprinkle some of the tencel glitter on first. Okay, just a little. And I'm going to sprinkle on some pink. And this just gives it a hint of pink. And then some of the jumbo glitter. And I'm not worried about mixing up the glitters, you know, around here, the excess glitter, because I can always pick that up and put it on the door that we're going to be using. And then we're going to add a little bit of the German glass glitter. It doesn't really take a whole lot to make it shine. And then I'm going to go in one last time with the fine pink glitter just to make sure that we have enough of that pink in there. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm just going to lightly tap everything down. I just think it holds really well when you do this, and it also makes the German glass glitter, the shards, lie flat instead of sticking up. So those are good things. Alright, so now I'm going to pick this up and very gently, my finger, I'm going to make sure everything is tucked in the sides, no fuzzies hanging out. And this will dry like clear glass, but you can already see how pretty it's going to be. Okay, So I'm just going to set this aside for a moment, and I'm going to do the door the same way. I'm being pretty generous with the triple thick. I have the little 4-ounce jar, but they also carry the triple thick in the 8-ounce, and it's actually a better value that way. And I generally buy mine on eBay. Okay. And once again, I will have all links to various things that you might have questions about on my blog at happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com. Alright, so I'm not going to bother sweeping this up and putting it on my door right now because that would take extra time. But I will use this glitter in my second gingerbread house that I make. So, alright, sprinkle this. And, jumbo glitter. How could I have forgotten? Gotta have that jumbo glitter on here. And then the German glass glitter. Okay. Take your toothpick, make sure everything is pushed down. Just do it lightly, don't do it real hard. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Alright, so this is going to dry for at least 12 hours. And then when it's finished, we'll come back and I'll show you how to put the gingerbread house together, and that's the fun part. Okay, so I picked up all the excess glitter, and I'm going to cut one of these bows off this lace trim, and I'll have a link as to where I got this, but you can also go on eBay and just type in the words bow lace trim, and you'll have quite a few pop up. This is pretty cheap, and you can buy it from the Chinese sellers. And all I'm doing with this one is just adding a little triple thick, and then I'm going to pour everything at once from this jar. But I'm going to put quite a bit on here since this lace is a little thicker, needs to soak in a little bit. And I know it may look like I'm getting gloppy with it, but it's going to need that in order to really hold all that glitter. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this up and move this over to this side, just so I can pour that glitter on it. And then I'll tap that down as well, and then allow this to dry. That'll go on the very top of the gingerbread house. Okay, I'm going to pick this up and just kind of wipe off the sides here, just like that. No fuzzies. Okay, so I'm going to allow this to dry now, along with the roof and the door. Okay, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now we're ready to put together our pieces. We have our little heart, our bow, our roof, our door. This is all nice and stiff, like that. So the first thing we're going to do is put on the roof. So just across here, and then across here. Then I'm going to set this roof on about like so. And maybe gently tap it down. And I'm going to take a toothpick and just kind of, there's a little part here, you got to be careful, that I saw that I want out. There we go. That looks good. Alright, and so the next bit is I'm going to put this bow right on the top here, like so. So I'm just going to squirt this at the top and then put this bow on, like so. Yeah, that's good. About here. Make sure it's on there. See, looks good on the back. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the door on right in the middle, and I'm kind of using the lines underneath this wax paper to kind of determine where the middle is. And you want to take your heart and kind of figure out exactly where you want your heart too. Now be careful to leave a little room in between the tip of the heart and the top of the door, because we're going to want to put this this bead chain, or this bead line right here, right across the top of the door. So it looks like it has plenty of room, like that. So I think I'm going to start by placing the heart on the top. So I'll put a little bit of this hot glue and place it just about like that, okay? Alright, and then I'm going to place this around here, like so. And you're going to place this right about here. I think that looks good. Brush this down. So this is what we have so far. And I'm going to take some of this bead chain. I'm going to get an idea roughly about how much I'll need, and I'll let this hang over maybe a bead or two on both sides so I can just kind of snip it off. Yeah, so let me cut this off right about here. And I'm going to start by just putting the smallest, tiniest dot at the top of the door here along the edge. And I'm just going to hold it about here. I'm going to wait until it's dry. Just kind of make sure that it stays, okay? Not like that. Now I'm going to hold onto this and put a little bit right along the edge, like so. I'm going to hold that on like that and just make sure that it's on there. And I'm just using the smallest amount of hot glue. on my little detail hot glue gun here. And put this right along here. And maybe put this here. Yeah, like that. And I'm just going to hold on to that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little detail scissors and I'm just going to snip this off. I'm going to snip this off, just like that, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little pearl and I'm going to slide this at the top and then, you know, glue the pearl right about here. So I'll put a little bit of hot glue here and maybe put that on here, and then so I'm doing it that way so the hole will be on this side and this side. It won't show on the front. If you have a bead without any holes in it, that's even better, but I didn't have that. Okay, and so I also purchased these adorable little gingerbread men, and you can purchase these in 5 pieces, 20 pieces, and 50 pieces. And I think for 5 pieces I paid 99 cents, and that was free shipping too. So I thought it was really cute. I'm going to order some more. I'm going to put that little gingerbread man right here, right about there. So this is just a little resin piece, and yes, I'll give you the link on my blog at happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com. And you're just gonna press this on like so. Now on this side and this side I have some rickrack, and I think I'm just going to place it like that on both sides. And let's see, I think I'm just going to put it on the back of this because it's kind of wavy. And I'm just going to press that down like so and let it cool. And I know I probably have a little bit of tiny dot of hot glue on the back still, but that's alright. I'll let that dry, and let me snip it off about here, and then I'll just cut the rest off when it dries. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. And just like so. Like so. Okay, and I know I cut probably a little too much, but alright. Now on the back, the glue's hard already, so cut this off. And yeah, that's still wet, so I'll let this dry for a few seconds here. I want to make sure it's hard before I cut it off. Okay, now that's hard. And just like so. And if you want to take a soft brush, not a soft brush, a soft brush, and wipe it off like that, then that will help a lot. Okay, and then I think on this side, I take a little candy cane and put it about here, and this one I'll put here, and all this is wire that's twisted together and then bent around at the top. I got a package of these, quite a few actually, and if you can believe this, these candy canes, they have to be at least 10 years old, and the package still looks good. So I don't know how long these will last, but they look good. Now these are super narrow. If I had my choice, I probably would go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and buy some little candy canes that are a lot thicker than this. But that's what I had, and I'm just kind of using this up in my stash. So if I were you, I would buy thicker candy canes, but like I said, this is what I'll use up for now. Okay, like so. Now I have to do the same thing with this. I'm so glad I have that detail hot glue gun. I would never be able to put hot glue on something this narrow with a regular hot glue gun. There's no way. I wish I'd stop shaking. Good grief. Okay. And I'm going to put this down like so. Alright. Just like that. Alright. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is place this little resin heart. And this is kind of a sparkly resin heart. And you can get these like in a bag of 50 or so for like anywhere between $1.99 and $2.99 with free shipping on eBay. And I put that right in the middle. And then I'm going to take this little snowflake brad and snip this back part off here. Like so. Oh, sorry about that. And I'm just going to push this down like that. Little snowflake. And I'm going to put this in the middle. And then place this right about here at the top. Now I'm going to put a little red rhinestone on there from the Dollar Tree. And then, let's see, let me get this off here. And take my little rhinestone. And then place this right here. Oops. There we go. Right about there. Okay, now on both of these sides, now I bought these pieces of bling. They were 10 for $3.19, and that was with free shipping. And I bought them from a seller that I always buy from, and I'll include that link on my blog as well. Except I'm not going to use the bling I showed you. I'm going to use this bling, and they're little square pieces, but I believe I bought these from the same seller. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. And to me they looked kind of like windows. So I'm just going to place it just like that. I thought these were really pretty. You could turn it this way too, but I think I like it this way, like that. So I'm going to be using a little bit of E6000 on the back with a little bit of hot glue. So put a little bit of E6000. It doesn't need a whole lot to hold. And put that on top. Just going to place it right about here, and make sure it's nice and straight. And the hot glue will hold it while the E6000 is drying. Okay, and I'm just using up the last of the E6000 in the tube. Okay, and then I'm going to place this right about here. Yeah, just like that. And wondered where the lid went. Okay. And then so the last part of it, I'm going to do the same thing. This is a bale. This is a large bale. And I've also bought this on eBay a little while back. I'll see if I can find the link. This is a large one. And where I placed it on the first one, you can see it's barely noticeable, like that. Here's the lace, and here's the back part. Of course, I covered up the bale, and then I put a little strand of the beads here, or pearl beads, and it just made it look it made it look a lot nicer, I thought. I like the back to look a little finished, too. So, we'll go ahead and do that next. I'm going to make sure this dries a little bit, though, before I turn it over and put the bale on. I think that's important. I don't want these to, mess up. So, we'll be back. Okay, before I put the bale on, I need to put the 3mm pearl trim here on both sides, and I put some down here too, but I have the candy cane underneath there, and I put the candy cane on top on this one, but I'll figure that out. And it's a good thing that happened, because I can determine what to do next. So I'm going to start here with a pearl bead and roll this all the way down, and then I'm going to take this trim like so, there, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So I'm just going to place this here, go all the way down, and there we go. Just like that. Here, let me fix this. There we go. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to see if I can somehow fix this. I don't know if I can, but oops. Maybe I can do this, or just do this part here. What do you think? Let's see. Yeah, I think I will do it like that. So let's put it on this side, like that. And I hope you can see this. You're going to hold it at the bottom and then pull it upwards just like that. And then I'm going to snip this little trim off at the end, and I think with one tiny little pearl bead I'm going to put it right here on this side of the candy cane. Just the tiniest amount right about here. Oh, look at that. See up close? Looks okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to turn it this way because it's just easier for me to do it like this. Okay, down and up. So here we go. Down and up. Just like that. And then I'll snip this little part off right about here, like so. I don't know if I can fit that in there. Let me see. Yeah, I think I can do it. Gonna give it a try. So tiny. And there we go. And this is up at the top, so I'm going to have to come in here. I'm going to be careful though, because I don't want to mess up the felt part. Just like that. Like so. Hold that. And okay, so it's really pretty. So now I'm going to turn this over and take the large bail. I'm going to measure this bail. From top to bottom, it's 26 millimeter. And the widest part of the bail, it's roughly maybe 13, no, it's hard to see. I don't know where I got 13. No, it's 8 or 9. It's kind of in between an 8 and a 9, I think. It's difficult for me to see. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this E6000. I try to use every little bit and put this right here. Add a little bit of hot glue. Now I'm going to place this right here. Tap it down just a little, like so. Just like that. And I'm going to take a corner of felt, the gingerbread felt, and just kind of put it about here. So I'm just going to cut this right across here, like so. Okay. There we go. And then I will just place this right about here. Okay. So that looks good. Right in the middle. Okay, and then I will do this. Okay. I'm just taking my time tonight. Sorry about that. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little piece here of beef trim, fur trim. Okay. Alrighty. Do it like that. Okay. Okay, just like that. Alright, and then you can see this part right here, and we'll put the lace right at the top here. Okay, there we go. Alright, okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of lace right through that veil back here. And I'm just going to slide this through, like so. And just like this. And then I'm going to tie this. Okay. Then I'm just going to pull this like that. Open this up. A little snip here. And a little snip there. Oops. And then we have our beautiful little house. Like that. And I would love to see what you come up with. You can take my pattern and decorate it any way you want. This is just one little idea. And then here's my other one that I made. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I so appreciate everyone sticking with me, and God bless each and every one of you. Take care. Bye-bye.